You have something I want. You may think you have some idea of what you are in possession of, but you do not.
Are you ready for round 2? We need to talk.
The enthusiasm is infectious.
Everyone is coming with their own experiences to a galaxy that can support it.
And then also have a group of filmmakers who were not afraid to jump in.
It's hard to believe, all these years later, there's such energy around new stories in this world.
The volume put me back in a set as if it was built.
The outside is all video walls, and the top is a video wall.
That was, for me, one of the most rewarding experiences as someone who just loves Star Wars.
It was like one of the weirdest and best things that ever happened with Werner. He was acting against the baby, and he started directing the baby directly. I'm trying to direct Werner, who's now directing the puppet. He was telling us we needed to commit to the magic, make them use the puppet.
IG-11 was like IG-88.
They built him out of parts of the old Cantina set from A New Hope. We, as children, like that's the coolest assassin robot. It was bolted to the floor.
We're trying to draw from all over Star Wars.
Action.
Sometimes I think it's just like anything in any different scene. You just have energy, and you can see that in the physicality, you can see that in the acting.
George reiterated, remember to make these stories hopeful, to give that to kids, because they really need it. It's important to the foundation of Star Wars, but we don't just want action, we want to feel uplifted. And Star Wars ultimately is about family. It is really saying there is a lot of hope out there.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new Mandalorian Season 2 teaser video. We also have a trailer for the other Mandalorian spin-off series. They also made a bunch of announcements about other Star Wars live-action series, so we'll break it all down. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We're doing an Amazon giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite Mandalorian moment on the video. I know everyone's desperately in need for some good news right now because of everything that's going on in the world with the virus. Well, there is a lot of good news packed into all this. Just going down the list, starting with number 5. The Mandalorian Season 2 teaser, just mostly hyping up more space battles in the Razor Crest, more time developing the dynamic between the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda as he collects more bounties, earning more money for repairs, and also tracking down the Jedi that survived the Purge. He will be as your son until you find these enemy sorcerers to help train him. Recently, we obviously learned that one of those former Jedi would be Ahsoka Tano, played by Rosario Dawson. We don't know exactly what she's going to look like in the live-action series. They haven't released an official preview of her character, but there's been a ton of brand new fan art since the announcement, and some of these are probably really close to what she's actually going to look like. They'll probably just paint her face to match Ahsoka's skin tone, just like they paint Gamora green for Guardians of the Galaxy, and then some combination of prosthetics and special effects to get the rest of Ahsoka's head shape right with the tails. There's no way they're going to be able to do action scenes and keep all that as a practical effect. Even when they film with the puppet version of Baby Yoda, they said that they still have to tune him up with special effects to make his face more expressive, the eyes, the way his mouth and his ears move. If you watch Baby Yoda when he's watching the Mando, anytime he gets scared or happy, you can see him using his ears to express emotion. Most of that they can do with the puppet, but then they have to sweeten it just a little bit so that it pops on screen with special effects. Baby Yoda is just a really good example for this because sometimes Baby Yoda is full CG, like this scene when he's force choking Cara Dune. Sometimes he's a physical puppet, and the actors can pick him up and walk around with him, and sometimes he's a combination of the two. So for the most part, Ahsoka is going to be practical with a little bit of special effects to make her pop a little more on screen. I think the only time they would go for a full CG Ahsoka is if she gets some super crazy lightsaber fight with Moff Gideon in the Darksaber. Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Moff Gideon, has been talking about all the crazy Darksaber lightsaber battles that he has. He didn't say who he's fighting, but he said some of his Darksaber lightsaber battles are so hardcore that he breaks the Darksaber props over and over again. For next big thing, they just announced another brand new Star Wars live-action series is coming to Disney Plus in the next few years, and it's separate from all the brand new ones that we just heard about a couple months ago. They didn't say what the title would be, only that it would be set during a very different part of the timeline from all the other live-action Star Wars series that have already been announced. So that confirms that it's not the Ahsoka spin-off series that we heard about a few weeks ago. This new series sounds like it could either be something during Knights of the Old Republic era or during the High Republic era, that new part of the timeline between 400 and 200 years ago before the original trilogy that Lucasfilm is developing for all the books and the comics stuff right now. Post all your predictions in the comments though. If it's going to be set during a vastly different part of the timeline and not overlap with the other series, when is this new series going to be set? Because you either go into the distant past or you go into the future, and we just went into the future with the new trilogy, so I think they're kind of trying to avoid that period. Number 3, the Ahsoka series that is reportedly being planned would be set closer to present day because it would be Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka. They haven't said anything about bringing other Star Wars Rebels or Clone Wars characters to the live-action series, but some of you have been asking me about all the other Mandalorian characters from the other series like Sabine Wren, Ezra Bridger, Bo-Katan. Any of those characters would be fair game for the Mandalorian main series in the next couple of seasons or even the Ahsoka spin-off series. And in addition to the Ahsoka spin-off series, there are reports that Rosario Dawson's contract allows her to guest star on the other live-action Star Wars series. They'd have to be series set when Ahsoka is a little bit older. Obviously, you couldn't do little kid Ahsoka without recasting a completely different actress. Even though Ahsoka's relationship with Obi-Wan Kenobi is very strained, if anyone's been watching the last couple of episodes of Clone Wars, it's pretty evident she could cross over to the live-action Obi-Wan series, which is set after the events of Revenge of the Sith, but before A New Hope. We don't really know much about the other Mandalorian spin-off series set closer to present day, except for the new documentary series, but the Disney CEO did confirm they have multiple Mandalorian spin-offs in development. So number 2, that other trailer at the beginning of this video with all the footage of Jon Favreau and the other Star Wars Mandalorian directors is actually for a Mandalorian spin-off series that's premiering May the 4th, as the trailer said. May the 4th be with you. They're meant to be special bonus Mandalorian episodes after Season 1, maybe with a little Season 2 stuff teased in there too. The episodes will be around the same length as the regular Mandalorian Season 1 episodes, but if you remember when HBO did the Game Revealed episodes for Game of Thrones Season 6, Season 7, Season 8 the last couple of years, this will be Star Wars doing a slightly different version of that. It's more like a documentary series. It'll run 8 episodes total, and each of the episodes will cover something different from the Mandalorian series. I will be doing videos for that series. It's going to drop the same day the Clone Wars Season 7 finale drops, The Siege of Mandalore. And I will also be doing videos for the final Clone Wars episodes. And speaking of Mandalorians, number 1, while we were just getting started with all this new Mandalorian Season 2 stuff that's coming later this year, the Star Wars people also confirmed that the Mandalorian Season 3 has already started pre-production right now. That means that they must have stealth renewed it for multiple seasons last year because Jon Favreau has already been working on the Mandalorian Season 3 episode scripts since last year. That just means that they'll be able to avoid any huge delays between Season 2 and Season 3 episodes. So unless they tell us otherwise, just expect the Mandalorian Season 3 episodes to be on the same release schedule as the Season 2 episodes, and Season 2 starts in October this year. It's a little too early to speculate on what the story of Mandalorian Season 3 is going to be before we see any of the Season 2 episodes, but since the series leans so hard on original trilogy references, and because Giancarlo Esposito keeps hyping up his scenes with Baby Yoda, I'm kind of hoping that they go for the Empire Strikes Back Season 2 downer ending where Moff Gideon is able to take Baby Yoda from the Mando, and then the beginning of Season 3 is kind of like the beginning of Return of the Jedi, with Mando putting a team together to rescue him. But post all your Mandalorian Season 3 predictions in the comments below too. So if you have any special requests, just let me know in the comments below. There were a bunch of big trailers and teasers that dropped the past couple of days, a lot of really good news, so I'll try to make videos for all that stuff. As long as you have alerts enabled for my channel, you should see all those videos when I post them. But everyone, click here for all my Mandalorian episodes, and click here for my brand new Spider-Man 3 Tom Holland video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. This is the way.